Hey there, welcome back. So we're going to start day 12 here. Per our doodad. By the way, this quest is not going to be finishable because you have to finish your quests in the session you get them. So I can't apprehend any, I didn't have any battles. So that one's just going to go away. I mean, technically, it's still ours because technically my knight can discard this quest to do 10 damage to someone. So, yeah, we'll keep it. Anyways, all it says, this gobbledygook is all the ongoing effects. We just needed to get to way rest by day 12. So we're at way rest and it's telling us to go to D09. So let's do that. And then you're going to see here, there's a lot of flavor text. We found an abandoned side tunnel. There's a guy named Ovidius already there. Sack of coins materializes, you may go. One of the hooded acolytes holds up their hand. You have defied our mistress for too long. We know you have your own designs on this gauntlet, and Deladra's patience has run out. They turn towards you. Unfortunately, you must be eliminated as well. Suddenly, the magic circle dissolves. The Watcher lunges towards you. Quickly, Ovidius calls to you. Hand me the gauntlet, and let us defeat these fools together. You hesitate for a moment. You want to save your skin. But what you've seen in the last few minutes, you don't particularly like the idea of any of these parties getting their hands. So, we have to resolve one of the following options. Turn over the artifact to Ovidius. Then we get to do D10 without ending the current counter. Or reject him and do D11. I don't like not knowing. So I'm going to peek. So D10 is we would initiate a clash. Ovidius would be the death that Watch could join. If Ovidius is defeated, we lose. We gain 2 experience points and we go to E12. For D11, he calls us a fool. We're all fools. And he's going to rain punishment. So then he's deployed along with the Watcher. Ovidius is an opposing unit. Ovidius is a companion in the last one. The Watcher can only be damaged by Ovidius and Death That Walks up here. Down here, he's an opponent, and he gets Divert. The Watcher can only be dealt damage by Ovidius and a Death That Walks. If the Watcher is defeated, the gauntlet and that is removed. And then this is saying he can be summoned. And battle objective is to conquer. So is the Watcher on my side or not? I think I'm against both of them. Yeah, so the difference is that Ovidius is not a companion. He's against everybody. So he's fighting everybody, including the enemy. And you can gain 2, and then it goes to entry E12 either way. So it doesn't matter which way we go. Both ways go to E12. And even if we win, Ovidius somehow disappears. The gauntlet is destroyed either way. Okay, so we're just deciding is Ovidius on our side or not. Okay, before knowing this, I probably would have I mean, we're doing a Thieves Guild quest. We know somebody selfishly wants an item without other people knowing. And then now all of a sudden you have a conscience and don't want to give it to him at the end. I think I would have given it to him. I mean, almost all times I would have not given it to him. Because it's like, if I know someone's going to use the item for nefarious purposes, but I wouldn't have taken the quest in the first place. That's the difference. Like, why wait until now to all of a sudden have a conscience? So the difference is that he's either with us or against us. But in both cases, the Watcher is against us. And Ovidius can only take damage if the Watcher or the night creature damages him. Now, the other thing to understand is if we make him a companion, if Ovidius dies, is defeated, we actually fail the encounter. And that means we fail the campaign. When we make him an enemy, the only way we fail the campaign is if we go down. So there is some advantage to making him an enemy here. In either case, he just poofs, disappears before you actually get to give him the killing blow. Fine. Since we peaked, I'm going to make it the hardest for us as possible. We're going to do where we did not side with him. And it doesn't give you like a keyword or anything. So it's not like you gain any bonus by choosing to side with him or not. That's what's bizarre about this. But anyways, we'll go ahead and... So we had these items that we set aside. We have the Watcher here, which is this little eyeball looking thing. So he gets 7 health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Ovidius gets 8. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So that's their situation. This Death That Walks is not an enemy. It moves 3 hexes towards the Watcher. And after its movement, it rolls 1 combat die for each hit point stack for any chip that's near it. Hold on. To all adjacent units, including the Watcher. So the Death That Walks would be going towards the Watcher, whereas if Ludex Ovidius is on our side, it's going to move 3 hexes towards Ludex and do the same thing. So if Ovidius is defeated, you lose. And the problem is Ovidius is... we don't control him, and the Watcher is going to definitely do damage to him. So you don't want the Watcher to appear in this situation, or not the Watcher, but the Deathwalker, because the Deathwalker is going to cream him before you get a chance to. The battle objective is conquer, so we have to defeat everybody on the board. In the case where he's not on our side, we want this thing to come because then he's going to go towards the Watcher. And then he's going to try to kill the Watcher. And again, our thing is conquer, and Watcher is still not on our side. What's interesting, though, is that the Ovidius is somebody you have to kill. In this case, though, like in the last case, Ovidius is only damaged by the Watcher and the Knight That Walks. That's the only way Ovidius takes damage. But in this one, looks like anybody can damage Ovidius. Man, it's just so complicated. It's like, why do these guys come up with such complicated stuff? But we're gonna have it's a basic mission though, clash they call it. So I'm just gonna move this off to the side. We'll get on our big item. We'll do an ice one. And the clash is over here. Two item, there and there. Yeah, it's just it's a hot mess of the Watcher can only be dealt damage by Ovidius and the Death That Walks. If the Watcher is defeated, the Gauntlet and the Death That Walks are removed. In the other case, we're trying to kill the Watcher, and the Death That Walks is trying to kill Ovidius. And we can delay, we can do the same thing where we take light fatigue to modify the die roll to prevent the Death That Walks from appearing on the board. The Watcher can only be targeted by and dealt damage by Ovidius and the Death That Walks. So that's true in either case. It's just that in the case where we're siding with Ovidius, we can't damage the Watcher. Only the Death That Walks can. And, man, only Ovidius can. And so the Death That Walks is trying to kill Ovidius. Wow. Okay. I think that siding with Ovidius would actually be harder, to be honest with you. I mean, he does roll 2 dice, but the Watcher, it only has 1 defense. Okay, let's look up Necrotic and Restrain. Necrotic. At the end of the unit's turn, it deals all adjacent units 1 damage. Restrain, after this unit's movement, all opposing units within 3 hexes of this unit are moved 1 hex closer to it if possible. So basically, he's like a vacuum cleaner. He sucks everybody towards him. And then the other one has Bide and Blind. If this unit does not move its turn, it heals for 2. And Blind, after this unit's engaged, apply a blind status to the unit's target. So by us making him an enemy, he's going to be blinding us, potentially. All right. So these guys are A and B. So there's a A and a B here. I'm going to move this a little closer to us. They need to check which one's A, which one's B. Ovidius is A and Watcher is B. The Gauntlet is with the Watcher if I choose to disobey Ovidius. In the other case, Ovidius is still A, Watcher is still B. Okay. And by the way, I got them backwards. A is at the bottom. B is at the top. Okay. Next, we got to go to page 50-something in the rulebook. God only knows why they buried it in the middle of the rulebook. Because this is the end of session. At least I think it is. They don't tell you. It's just another one of the many problems with this game. But since it's day 12, I'm going to assume it is the end of session. And so we are at adept level at 4 players. We need to assume we have 16 experience points, even though we only have 13. So we're 3 short. And then we're going to do 64 points worth of stuff. So what does that mean? Well, it's a simple, we're going to draw 3 20s. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 1s. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. And I just made a mess. Okay. So let's get this battle started. Person number 1 is Dramora with 9 health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he has Arcane and Daze, and he goes back here. Person 2 is Hajmuta, has 8 health, and I only have 2 health chips left. This game is seriously low on health chips. It also comes with, so the base game comes with different series of health chips that are lighter, not as good. But I don't know how I'm going to do this. I need to come up with a heck of a lot of chips here. This is horrible. Okay. Just gonna grab some iron clays. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go, 8 for him, and it goes here. And he has Bane and Shatter. So the Bane is bad. That one is not a good one. We need to take him down. The next one, level 20, is a Leech with 7 hit points, with Native, Rot, and Necromancy. And he goes up here. Next one, these are all level 1s. So there's a Khajiit Bandit with 3 health. Goes on number 4, which is way in the back. A zombie, 5 health. And then we have Dark Elf Bandit, 5 health. Goes here. And then a Dark Elf another High Elf Bandit. Which goes there. That's our situation. And in this case, the Watcher has the item instead of us. So we give this legendary item to the Watcher. It doesn't matter. It's not like we do anything with it in this battle. I do have a lot of bonus hit points, which is one of the reasons why we're very short on chips. The bonus health is what's really doing it. And then as we start losing that bonus health, these chips will obviously become very available. I am going to spend this to do 10 damage. I just can't damage a quest character. But I can damage like some of these level 20s, for example. And then we got to get our guys out there. So in usual fashion, I like to put my melee guys up front, and then my ranged in the back. In the rear with the gear, And I'm also going to keep making the decision unless I say otherwise. We're going to always start with our two-hander. And everybody has 3 stamina now. So the melee guys are going to be rolling 3 dice each, and they're going to be all moving at least 3 spaces. The archer is the only one that I probably want to get, up to 4. And the archer, in order to get him to master, he has to defeat an enemy that's 6 or more hexes away. That's real hard to do when you only shoot 4 spaces away. He does have an accuracy thing that increases his range by 1. He has to spend a tenacity to do that, but he needed to get a 4th stamina die in order to be able to do the rest. So that's some of his issue. And increasing his range will allow more enemies to be within his targetable range. The other one is our whatchamacallit, our arcanist, our major, has this fake carver that needs 5 tenacity. She now has 5. She can discard a crux token that does 3 true damage to a targetable non-quest enemy. And if she kills somebody doing this, she gets to upgrade her skills to master. So those are the 2 masters we have remaining. The other 2 have already become master, which is good. And I'm going to take a quick pause because I do have a lot of interruptions while I'm doing this, but we'll get back to it and get this battle started. All right, let's get started. Rock and roll, as they say. So we have to defeat everybody. Cardinal rule of thumb, though, is that we cannot harm the Watcher. The only thing that can harm the Watcher is Ovidius himself and the night thing, or the shade thing. So here's the deal. The shade thing, at the start of the Watcher's turn, we roll a 1d6 based on the round number. And by the way, it's round 1 right now. So we would have to roll a 1 in order for him to show up. And the Watcher goes before anybody. So Ovidius is opposing everybody on the board. He gains the enemy skill Divert. The Watcher can only be damaged by Ovidius and the Death That Walks. And if the Watcher is ever defeated, the Death That Walk is removed with him. At the start of the Watcher's turn, he's going to roll for this Death That Walks thing. And he's not considered an enemy. At the end of each round, he's going to move 3 hexes towards the Watcher. And he will do 1 damage to anybody he's next to. Or, not 1 damage. He's going to roll, because right now he has 4 health chips because of how much unrest there was. So he's going to roll 4 dice and do that many damage. And I thought I read somewhere that the Watcher goes before the players do. I think that was true. Give me a second. It does say that he can only be dealt damage by Ovidius and Death That Walks. It just says at the start of the Watcher's turn. So I'm going to assume that the Watcher then goes in normal turn order. So it's going to be the party members, any companions we have, which are none at this time, and then the special quest units, and then the baddies. That's the order we're going to do things here. And I can verify that the quest units go before the baddies. I'm pretty darn sure of that, but I have been wrong before. So it says on enemy turns, starting with the highest level enemy and working downwards. Okay, let me look it up. Yeah, so it says quest units are treated as having the highest level, and then if multiple enemies have the same level, the party decides. So yeah, the quest units would go next, and then the baddies. All right, so I got 3 movement points. I got lots of options here. So when this guy dies, well, first of all, this guy will bane us, which is not a great thing because we're going to lose a hit point each round with the bane. Now, maybe that's not that big of a deal, but he also has shatter. If you're not overtaxing a weapon, the adventurer must discard a weapon from a ready slot after the engage. So it's not one that I want to attack with a weapon. So I want to kill him with my mage or with... see, this is where the companions would have been nice, like having summons and stuff like that. So that one's just annoying because I'm going to lose a weapon if I attack him. The necromancer at the top with the rot and the necromancy. The rot is an adventurer will gain over fatigue for killing him, and that's also true. There's a zombie here with rot. This is the necromancer here I was referring to. And then this one has dodge, which just means that your misses give him extra armor. And divert means he has to be reduced to 1 health before you can kill him. And then this one has decay, which that's a new one. Decay is it's dealt 1 true damage at the end of every turn. So that makes sense. And then the necromancy, at the end of the unit's turn, deploy the top unit of the defeated stack to the closest unoccupied hex to this unit with party hit points. So basically, every time you kill somebody, this guy's going to bring him back to life. So we need to kill him without a doubt. Now this one with the restrain, he's the one that summons everybody 1 step closer to him. So that's going to be a potential issue. And what else do we got? We have necrotic. It deals 1 unit of damage, or 1 damage to all units adjacent to it. And then this one has bide. It'll heal himself. I thought there was somebody here that when they died, oh, it's the native, this one. So if he dies, he causes everybody else to be healed. So that just tells me I need to kill him first. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to here. And we'll try to collect this item. Although I'm maxed out on my items. So I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. But I could always discard something else if this is somehow magically better. So here we go. I need a 5, 5, 6. I got a 5. Roll 2. And roll 3. I'm not going to get the... I don't care about it. I'm going to take a look at it. Yeah, I don't care. That's a worthless item. I do get to refresh my 2 dice first, which means I get rid of that. And here we are. I'm going to attack this necromancer. He has an armor of 2, which is not the best. I do have 2 tenacity. So I'm going to look at my ranger skills here. I can deal 1 true damage to a beast insight. So let's look to see if there's any beasts on the board. I'll look in a second. And then I can interrupt at the start of any enemy's turn to reduce its movement by 1. So those are the things I can do. And remember, the beast requires us to look at this symbol here and see how that has like the little skull. That means he's a humanoid. The beast looks like a Pac-Man. And here's one right here. That's a beast. And I'm looking. He's the only beast on the board. So I got to relook at his shatter again because we're not going to attack him. Each turn, the first time this unit is engaged, who is not overtaxing a weapon, they must discard a weapon after they engage. I'm not engaging them. I'm spending a tenacity, which is different than an engage. And yes, we're going to do the thrill of the hunt. Deal 1 true damage to any beast in sight. And so I will do that. I spent 1 tenacity to do 1 damage to him. All right, so now I'm up against the necromancer. It has 2 armor. I have 3 stamina. And here we go. I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3 dice like this. And yeah, let's roll. Autobots. All right, so I got 2 of these slashes and 1 of the club. So the 2 slashes are 2 damage to the target each. And with it having 2 armor, this one cancels the armor, and this one's 2 damage. And then that one there says deal 4 damage to the target and gain a Bane status die. So the Bane status die. Now this is interesting. I don't know if it goes in here, because that sort of suggests that next turn it goes away. I think it actually goes on my guy like that, because it's something that doesn't go away. But that is 4 damage and 2 more for 6. So 6 total damage, because this one canceled the armor. And actually, no, this one reduces his defense by 1. So 7 total damage gets applied. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do 7 damage to this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got a murder, death, kill. So 1 guy is already gone. And that is the way you do it. Money for nothing, and your chicks are free. So I do have rot, which means I have to gain a over fatigue for that. So that's this thing. And I can choose to put it after my dice, which I will do. So I have 4 dice there with an over fatigue. And then I have my Berserker's Medallion. And remember, this is eat all your chips or go home, right? So I'm going to, if I do this, I get to take another turn. Do I want to take another turn right now? Or do I want to wait? I mean, I want to murder, death, kill some people. That Watcher, I have to be careful because the Watcher is going to... I can't damage the Watcher. So I will go ahead and do this. I'm going to take another turn. And I think that by taking another turn, I do take a damage. So I'm going to lose 1 of my bonus health. And I'm losing that bonus health because of the Bane ability. And with it being another turn, like all the things apply, including that Bane, I get my 3 dice back because I have a 3 now. And I'm going to move 3 spaces. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I am not engaging him. And I'm instead going to kill one of these 2. I'm going to go ahead and kill this one. And so I will just roll 3 dice, and I'm going to go ahead and roll my 2 regulars and a combat. So I do gain a tenacity. But I get to spend a tenacity to kill another hit point off of him because I started another turn. So I do get to damage him 1 more time. So I gain my tenacity. This is 1 damage. And this guy has no armor. But I did miss with 1 of my dice. So now he has 1 armor. So that cancels this. And then this one here does, I want to say 3 damage. And then I gain 2 late fatigue. Yes. So 3 damage and I gain 2 late fatigue. So let me add those to my pool. But I do 3 damage to this guy. We already canceled his armor and he's murder, death, killed. But he could have been resurrected, but we sort of took care of that. Okay, so he's done. He's got the Bane status. Our thing reduced his armor by 1, so I would have killed him even more. But it doesn't matter. I am trying not to target that guy because I don't want to lose my weapons. Moving on to our one-hander. He can also move 3. So we're going to do 1, 2, and just attack the zombie. So he gets to roll 3 dice now, and he's going to roll all 3 of his... Well, let me think about this. You know what he's going to do? He's not going to do that. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 to here. And we're going to use speech on him to see if we can convert him to our side. And we rolled a 1 and a 1. And that's all we needed. We just need a level 1 creature. So we converted a level 1 creature. Now that causes this to... I only needed one of the dice, so that drains, and the other one goes into the... so that's going to drain, but that one I can still use because I only need one. And basically what happened here is he's now one of the good guys. So normally I use the white chip, but since he has white health, that's not helping me any. So why don't we do this? He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 health. We're going to use the 4 from the meanie guy, the death guy, and then that one for the 5th. And then we'll put this in to show he's one of ours. And then we got 4 health that I'm just going to set aside there. So he's converted to be one of us. Now, I can take a light fatigue and go again and go after the zombie. And why not? I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to take the light fatigue, and then I'm going to roll 3 dice, go after the that zombie there, level 1. So here you can see I gain a tenacity. I'm already at 5. So don't want to necessarily do anything about that. And then this one's a 2 damage, and this is 1 damage, which is also going to be 2 shields and 1 shield. But I did 3 damage to this guy who has 0. So 1, 2, 3 damage, and we're done. And I'm not going to... I do have combat dice. I can try to go again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let the dice sit. Now, with his... he's got this mace, though. Hold on. For each 2 tenacity you have, add 1 enemy combat die to this engage. I happen to have 5, so we might kill him. I just need to roll 2 damage worth of stuff here. And there it is, 2 damage. So this guy's dead, and then he has rot, so that means an over fatigue goes into his queue. And just a reminder, over fatigue during battle, every time you refresh that die, it just goes to the end of the queue. So you're going to see it again and again and again. And then during the overnight adventure rest, you can get rid of an over fatigue as one of your dice. And that gets rid of it like for good. So for the battle, there's no way to get rid of it unless you have a skill that does so. Okay, so that's that. Next up, we have the mage. Now the mage is going to move 3 spaces potentially. I'll do 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And I am not going to engage him. Instead, I'm going to use my tenacity. 5 of them, in fact, because the mage has cruxes. And the cruxes are, they do true damage, 3 true damage for each one. So she's going to discard her 2 cruxes to do 6 damage to this guy. And remember, it's not an engage. It's a tenacity thing. So that's different than an engage. So I avoided his shatter ability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's exactly enough to kill him. So we not only did that, but we became a master. So that's awesome. And another one down. And so just a refresher for you, discard all crux tokens. For each one, deal 3 true damage. That's why I did 6. And it's to a targetable non-quest enemy. He's not a quest enemy. And then up here, defeat a... Ooh, it has to be with the horns. It has to be with the horns. That was a beast. That wasn't a horns. Using your fake cover ability. All right, maybe I want to rethink things. Because I do have a horns guy over here. I want to rethink things. If I attack him with my mage, which is what the plan was, I still can do it, but see, I have a staff. And I'm going to lose the staff, is what I'm saying. Now, is it the end of the world? After rolling this engage, you may reroll any 1 skill die You may choose whether to overtax. And it says like he'll destroy the item unless you overtax. Well, overtax causes the item to be destroyed anyways. Unless you're a Breton, and that lets you put it in your backpack. So the Breton's the only guy that's really good against that beast. So let's just attack the thing. Because if there's anybody that's unwilling to lose an item with, it's this one. Although my archer has 3 bows. So technically he can afford to lose one of his bows. But this is not the best thing in the world. So I'll go ahead and do that one. And I think there's no way around. Now, I do have 4 magicka, which lets me roll 4 dice. And so I'm going to roll all 4 of these dice against him. And I got a tenacity, which I was already at 5 because I haven't used my skill. Well, does that guy have to be in range? Targetable. Yeah, they got to be in range. So, didn't get tenacity. And then we got all these symbols we got to look up. Like, what the heck do these things do? All right, looking at the one on the right, that looks like a tuning fork. It is deal 4 damage to your target and 1 true damage to any one adventure. So I'll do it to myself. I have all this bonus health, so that's not a concern yet. And then I did 4 true damage to him. Remember, I only need to do 2 more and he's dead. And then this one, it looks like the universe is exploding. Well, let's look at this one. That looks like a fist. Or a hand. It's a hand. It says defeat a level 1/5 enemy. Oh, this is the defeat an enemy outright. I'm fighting a level 20. This was not a good move. That's fine. I rolled it. And then this one here is it's a pulsar. Deal 2 true damage and 1 true damage to each unit adjacent to your target. So that would mean him, which he has some bonus health. So I'll take 1 off his bonus health. And yeah, I actually was able to kill him. That 2 true damage was enough to kill him. So we did kill him, but this time though, the shatter effect does happen unless, does it not happen if I kill him? The first time this unit is engaged by an adventurer, they must discard a weapon after the engage. Yeah. So we lose our weapon, which is a shame, but that's okay. It's gone. So, hold on. Okay, so she finished her turn. She lost her weapon. Now we're going to start with our bow guy, and I am very likely going to take some damage if this Night Watcher thing comes out, but we're going to move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to take this item. And again, I'm full, so the mage can use an item, but maybe I should let the mage be the one to pick this up, because this isn't doing me any good, is it? So let's roll 5, 2, 3. We got ourselves a 3. And there's a 5. And if I want to take a bunch of light fatigue, and I'm not going to, it was a... It's okay. I'm just... And maybe that's going to be the thing that's going to make me not like this game, is I don't like the items in this game very much. I think most of them are trash. And yeah, I've come accustomed to that there's a lot of mechanics of discard items so you can get good cash and prizes. So that's more or less what I've been doing. So I am done. So now it's time for these 2 to go. And I guess we get to choose the order. This guy here has a range of 6. And he is going to choose the 2 with the least health points. And everybody is in his range. This bandit has only 3 health points, so that's one of the ones with the least. And the second one with the least would be maybe the mage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, before he goes, our companion goes. And the companion can't target him. Well, can't damage him. I guess that would mean he can't target him, I'm assuming. But he can target anything else. So he has a range of 2. So he doesn't really... So per the rules, since he has a range of 2, he would target him, because that's the only one in his range right now. But he can't do any damage to him, so I'm going to assume he's going to move 1 space forward, and then he can target any of these 3. And his AI says that he's going to target whoever has the least hit points. But I think we get to choose because it's a companion. And so I'm going to target him because I got to take him down. He has 2 armor, and this guy rolls 2 dice, so I'm probably not going to do any damage at all in this situation. And yep, I did nothing. I just moved him 1 space away. So now we got this guy who goes, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 2 targets he's going to go after is this one and this one. Because since this has 5 health and I have 5 health over here, I get to choose. And I'm going to choose this one. So he gets to roll 2 dice, and he's attacking 2 people. And he has Bide and Blind. The Bide is if he doesn't move, he heals, and he's not moving. And he'll apply a blind status to both of them. So he did 2 damage to both. This one takes the 2 hits. And so that for sure happens. And then he gets a blind, which is this. And then this one here also takes 2 damage. Now he has this retreat skill, so we're going to look up what that is. Retreat. At the end of this unit's turn, if no units took damage this turn, he gains a stealth status die and heals for 1. If no units took damage. That's a really weird... I mean, I guess if you're in a dungeon and he's far away. All right, so that's his turn. And then for his turn, we got to roll our die. And I rolled a 1, so that thing is coming onto the board. This is the thing. And I'm going to put a white on top of it, not to show that he's an ally, but just to show he's the Night Stalker. And he goes to the place that's furthest away from the Watcher, which, by my calculation, that's here. And then he's going to move 3 towards the Watcher, which would be 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, these 2 are going to take a damage equal to his 4 dice. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 damage that he's doing to both of them. So I have 4 bonus health with my mage, so that part's not an issue. And then this guy, see, it's true damage. So the armor doesn't help, and he has 4 bonus health as well. So I might be a little ahead of myself, because I think the Watcher actually goes first before we do that action. But I just wanted to take care of that. And so then the Watcher has a range of 2. And he has Necrotic and Restraint. Oh, yeah, because something... hold on. Things are changing here. So the first thing is that he's going to attack somebody, 2 people with the most hit points. And with him having a range of 2, that's this one and this one. So he's going to roll his 2 dice. And here we go. That's 2 damage. And I think we need to apply his abilities first. Let me. So the Necrotic is, he's going to do 1 damage to anybody that's adjacent to him. But the other one, Restrain. After this unit's movement, all opposing units within 3 hexes are moved 1 hex closer if possible. Okay, so before he did his attack, this would have been moved 1 hex closer. This one hex closer. And then 1, 2, 3. Nobody else would have been moved. So just those two. So he's attacking those two. He does 2 damage to them. This guy has 0, so he takes 2 more damage. All right, and then I would take 2 more damage as well. But this time around, I do have a shield, which I'm going to use to block it. So that at least blocks that. And then because of his necrotic thing, he does 1 damage to every enemy around him. So I still have some bonus health. So I'm taking 1 more bonus health away from him. And then this guy actually dies before he ever got to take a turn, which is fantastic. So we got 2 more done there. And then now we go to the level 20s, which is this guy here with a range 3 attack. And he goes after 2 targets with the most hit points. And unfortunately, that is going to be me. And he's going to move at least 1 space forward, because that's 3 and 3. And he's going to target those 2. And he's going to roll 3 dice. And he has Arcane and Daze. So Arcane is... all of his damage is true damage. And then Daze is he's going to apply the Daze effect on both of us. So he does 2 true damage. So again, so this is the Nord, which is the sword and shield guy. These are the last 2 bonus hit points. So he's now exposed. And then 2 damage to our 2-hander, which are also bonus hit points. So his turn is done. And then, of course, the Daze effect goes on both of them. And this is just for the 1 round. And so he has a Daze, and he has a Daze. Like so. Okay. And then everybody else is dead. This is the only guy left. He has a range of 3, and he goes after 2 targets with the lowest health. And the only one in range is him. So he will go ahead and roll 2 dice against him. And he does 3 damage. He does have 1 shield left, so he blocks 1. But then he takes 2 damage. And that's real damage to his health. And I'm just going to put that there. So that sucks. So we got to get him healed and all that good jazz. Okay, so they come to an end. It's now our turn. And again, we start with our 2-hander, who does take 1 Bane damage. This is his last bonus health. And then now he's going to start taking some real damage. 2 of his dice recover. But one of them is the over fatigue, so it just comes to the end, and then the other one comes up like so. That's how that works. And then I'm going to look at his tenacity. He has 1 tenacity right now. He can deal 1 true damage to a beast, but there's no beast left. And that's it. So there's not much else he can do here. At least with the 1 tenacity he has. So nothing going on with him. But he does have some dice, and let's go murder, death, kill somebody. This guy is annoying, and so is the level 20. So either of those would work, and I think we're going to go ahead and go... I'm going to move next to both of them, and I think I'm going to go after the level 20 guy first. Oh, we have daze, so if I move, I can't attack. This is horrible. Yeah, that daze is horrible. Oh, and I recovered 3 dice, not 2. So this is also available. Okay, because I have daze, I don't have the ability to throw anything at this point. So I can move, but it doesn't do me any good. So I'm just going to remove my daze and my turn's over. That's unfortunate, but that's what the daze does. Then we go to this guy who has actual damage, and that's a problem. If he defeats an enemy, he can heal for 4 health. So I see an enemy I can go and defeat, but he also has daze, and I cannot damage the Watcher, standing next to the Watcher. So this is one of those deals where I can't engage anybody, and there's more than one enemy within 3 of him, so he can't do an honor duel. He can remove a status die, though, from his cooldown track and apply it to a non-quest enemy. I need to read up, like, when do these status dice go in your cooldown track? Maybe I've been doing it wrong. Lo and behold, I have been playing this wrong. These status dice go into their cooldown track. So this Bane would be somewhere in here. And I'm going to say that it was before this, because remember, that just refreshed. So I'll just put it right there. So when this goes away, the Bane goes away with it. So that's pretty cool. Now the daze goes away at the end of the turn. And that's specifically what the daze says. At the end of this unit's turn, remove this die. So arguably it could have been, because this guy has a cooldown of 2, so he gains a speech die back and then loses one of those. I mean, I guess arguably if the daze was in here, he could lose it before the end of his turn. Yeah, I think that's true. So the days of putting status dice on your character is gone. That's a too many bones thing to do that. And so my apologies. I've been doing that wrong. So with this said, I can move and engage or just move. And so I'm going to just move. And I'm going to move to here, which is putting me in harm's way in a lot of ways. Actually, I'll move to there for that reason. I'm going to attack this, and we're going to discard this quest. And it's going to cost me all 5 of my tenacity. So he's down to 0. And we're going to do 10 damage to this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he had 2 armor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I counted it right. So he's down to 1 health. And yeah, that's his ability. That's not an engage. That was using my tenacity, which is different than an engage. Engage is the art of rolling the dice. So then this goes away. Next up is our mage. So she gets 2 dice back. And one of them is gray. And then one of these dice. And then these slide down. We got some options here, but I think what we're going to do is she will move to there, and I'm going to roll my arcane dice on him. And then this. So we're going to roll 3 of the 4 dice. I cannot roll combat die with Magicka, so that can't be rolled, but these can. And so I got some symbols here. I think this one restricts him down to 1 movement point, and he can only attack adjacent, which I think is awesome. Also, we're a master now. No, we're not a master. That's right, I want to do the master thing. Yes, so we're going to do our Fate Carver. I have to discard all my Crux tokens, which is 2 of them. That's way overkill, because this guy's down to 1 health, right? Total overkill, but we're going to kill this guy so we can get our master. That was step 1. Step 2, I'm attacking this guy with these dice. So let me get back to regularly scheduled programming. And we do move up to master here, which I'm flipping over as I speak. And so the master is when you defeat an enemy in Magicka form, or when any of these, I always forget what they're called, but I call them demons, but they call them Philia or something like that, is defeated, place 1 Crux token here, max of 3. Start each session with 1. Abilities that require must use tokens from this sheet. Okay, I'm going to assume that even though I spent 2, I killed 1, so I get 1 back. So I do have 1. With that said, there's a lot of things that changed. There's this apocryphal gate. Hexes with Crux token in them are always considered adjacent to the party, so it's basically a teleporter. Gain a bonus hit point for each Crux token on this sheet. It doesn't say you have to spend them. It's a tenacity thing. So as long as you have the tenacity, you can gain the points. There's an interrupt when you would have to discard, due to overtax, discard a Crux token instead. That would have helped me save my staff. Place a Crux token in active slot. Discard it to prevent all damage that's done to you. It's like a shield. And then, of course, this is the one we were doing before. It deals 3 true damage to everybody. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is let's get to the dice now. So on the illusion dice, it was the mesmerizing grasp, which is a skill die. Place this die on a targetable non-quest enemy. Its range stat and movement are reduced to 1. So that's perfect. And then the other one we had is this symbol here. Place this die with 1 hit point chip. Enemies treated as an adventurer. So we're going to do exactly that. We'll put this here with a die on it. And so hopefully they'll waste an attack on him. And then the other one, this here, is 2 damage to your target. So straight up 2 damage to your target. So he has a shield of 2, so this does nothing to him. Okay, so her turn's over. She has no dice left, so I can't do anything else with her. Then we have our bow guy, and our bow guy is here. I don't think he needs to move. I mean, I know we got that one guy there with 1 health, which is annoying, but I'm going to shoot him with the bow guy. And we do get to take 3 dice back. There's only 1 in the way. And then I'm going to shoot all 3 of these. And then once per battle, I'm going to put stealth on 2 characters. Unfortunately, this guy's next to him, which I probably shouldn't have done because the stealth doesn't help. But I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to use my once per battle ability and put stealth on 2 characters. So I'm going to go on him and on him because they're the ones that don't have the they don't have any bonus health left. And so those 2 are going to get the stealth. And then we're going to roll 3 dice here. Yes, we're going to roll 3 dice, target him. Which bow am I using? I can gain a tenacity when you engage a target 2 hexes away. So I can move forward 1 space to do that. Or I can use, if your target is 3 or more hexes away, set 1 combat skill die rolled with this engaged to, oh, I'm not rolling any combat skills, so we're not going to use that one. So here we go. So this is a tenacity. And speaking of which, I had 1 tenacity, and I believe there was a skill I could have used. So let me grab it real quick. And that skill is, well, his ability is at the start of his turn, if you're in range, deal 2 damage to a targetable enemy. Well, the problem is that enemy has 2 shields, so it doesn't do anything to him. And with 1 tenacity, yeah, there's not much I can do. But now I have 2 tenacity. And then this one reduces his armor by 1 and does 1 damage. And this one is that, it's the new one, Acid Spray. I can select 3 targetable enemies. And unfortunately, I only have 1 enemy targeting, and that's him. So I will go ahead and roll. I got to get a 7 or better. That's a 5, so I failed. So this does nothing to him. It reduces his armor by 1 and does 1 damage, and he has 2 armor. So a lot of good that did. So nothing. There. And so I'm going to gain a light fatigue to go again. And I'm going to choose these two shadow dice and this one. I'm going to roll 3. Okay, so we got some symbols here. Let's start with the bow one. So the bow symbol, that one is deal 2 damage to your target for each snipe die in your cooldown track. Both of them are in a cooldown track, so I do 4 damage. He has 2 shield, so 2 damage to him. Okay, that's step 1. This one's done. Then we get to the shadow dice, the one that looks like a laughing demon. Remove up to 2 light fatigue from your cooldown track for each unit affected by a stealth status die. Well, I had 1 fatigue, so that's fine. Remove that. And then the other one looks like he has like a talking bubble. Gain 1 light fatigue, then gain a stealth status die. So I would have resolved these in the other order, because you can choose the order. I would have gained the light fatigue, and then the other one would have removed 2 of them instead of just 1. And then this becomes, this gives me a stealth die. So I have a stealth on me as well. It doesn't heal me like the other one, like I get bonus health or whatever, but I at least have that going for me. And I can't think of anything else I can do. I have 2 combat dice. I can still keep attacking. I have to gain another light fatigue if I do. I won't. I'm gonna, well, let me think about this. No, because it's not gonna kill him, and he has 2 armor. I'd rather hold off on that. Okay, so we ended our turn. Now it's their turn, and we get to choose, what's this guy gonna do? He's gonna roll 2 dice against 2 targets, and these 2 targets are next to him. This stealth die doesn't help him because he's next to somebody who spotted him. So we're gonna roll 2 dice. He's gonna attack those 2, and he's gonna do 3 damage. This one, of course, dies, and that was the whole point, to absorb the hit. And then our sword and shield guy, he gets blinded. And this time around, we're going to put it properly in his queue. So he's blinded as long as it's there. And he takes 3 damage. So he's in big, big trouble. 1, 2, 3. He's down to 1 health. Then we go to this guy who is targeting at range 2, and it hits 2 people with the most hit points. Now, there's nobody in his range, so he's going to move at least 1 space forward, and now he can target those 2, but I would say he wants to target whoever has the most health. So this is the thing. It says that he doesn't move if he has targets, but he didn't have targets, so now he's going to move, and I think he's going to move until he has the targets that he's looking for. Like, I wouldn't assume that, okay, he moves 1 space and he's not going to move anymore because he now has targets. Because, well, actually, these 2 aren't targets because he can't see them. So it has to be these 2. I'm going to die. I am absolutely going to die. I should have went into defensive stance. I do have this. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. I think I am going to get KO'd here. It's not the end of the world to get KO'd. It just means I'm out of the battle. But I think I could have done some stuff. And here's what I mean. He wasn't able to engage, but he was allowed to, for example, take a light fatigue, which would have to go before the blind, and then he can roll these 3 dice for defense. So he's in defensive stance. See, and then he has 2 shields. And I'm not saying that's going to protect him, but that really would make a difference, and he gains a tenacity to boot. And technically, right now, he's in defensive stance, not sword and shield, if that matters. So when this guy did damage to him, he did 3 damage, which 2 of them would have been blocked by those exact same dice. And then here's the thing, the blind would be all the way at the end. So the blind's going to last longer, but it does mean that he has 2 more health. And I know that's a retcon, and you might be thinking, well, you should have thought of that when... I get it. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm a perfect guy at this game, but when you're controlling 4 characters, I always laugh at the people who say, you shouldn't control 4 characters when you're learning the game. I don't care. But because I'm controlling 4 characters, this is a retcon I'm more than happy and willing to do. It's 100% something I could have done and should have done. Like, it was the prudent thing to do. Especially since he was out of bonus health and all this other stuff. So he might still die, because we got this guy now attacking both of them, and he's going to use 2 dice. And he could do 3 damage with these 2 dice, and there's nothing I'm going to do to be able to stop that. Now, he does have the necrotic restrain thing, so he's going to pull her towards him. This one is going to pull, and I don't know, is it targetable? Let me look again. All opposing units. So everybody's getting pulled in. He was out of range. So I'm probably still going to die, because even if I survive this, I'm taking another damage. And there it is. So he's doing 2 damage to each of us. I have no shields whatsoever. So he's going to take the 2 damage. But because he has the necrotic, he's going to do 1 more damage, which does KO him. And all of his health is gone. And this has happened before. We've had this happen before. And then she's going to take 2 damage, which is bonus health. But now she's going to lose a real health, because she also took the necrotic damage. And it's a little frustrating, but because I can't target the Watcher. That's why it's frustrating. And then this knight thing is going to move 3 spaces towards the Watcher. So 1, 2. Can I move it a 3rd space, or do I have to leave it there? Don't know. I'm going to move it a 3rd space to there. Because I'm not its enemy. The Watcher is. So I'm going to choose to move it all 3 spaces. And then it's going to roll its 4 dice against the Watcher. And there's 2, 3, 4 damage against that Watcher. And he has 1 shield, so 1, 2, 3 health goes away. This battle's a little tougher than it originally seemed. Because that shade does a massive amount of damage. The Watcher sucks you in towards him, and the shade is going after the Watcher. And so you're constantly next to the dang Watcher when you don't want to be. So I got to be careful here. I already have 1 guy down. I have no resurrection skill, so he's done. Per the rules, as long as somebody survives this battle, he will just recover his health during the night phase, just like any other time. But he's out of the battle. He had his Nord ability we didn't even get to use. So that's a problem. Oh, I had a solution. Oh man, I gotta retcon this. This guy he couldn't have attacked anybody else. That was even greater. So when this guy was next to him, he had 3 health, 4 health. He had 3 damage. And she had a special ability that can send him back to the entrance, and then he heals for 3 health. That's her once per combat ability. So he could do that. Now, that means he doesn't have the blind. It means he didn't need to retcon and do all this because he's no longer next to anybody. So all that goes away. And what it means is when this guy took his turn, because of this, he could only attack adjacent to him, and the only creature adjacent to him was the summon, the shadow. He got sucked one space forward because of this, which is fine. But this guy had to attack two people. This is the only one he could see. However, he's now in range. This is the other one that he hit. But he did 2 damage, but he has 2 shields, so the damage didn't do anything to him. But so the Watcher still hit our mage. That part doesn't change, but this guy would have been hit. And when it was his turn, because he's got this thing handicap him, these two that are in stealth weren't in his targetable range. All right, I like Pizza Steve. That's a lot better. I do have to get my mage out of harm's way, but I think we can. So let's start with the two-hander. Stealth is going away for both of these guys. Two-hander has 1 tenacity, which doesn't do anything here. So let's just murder, death, kill somebody. And I think I'm going to try to shoot or kill. I can't kill the Watcher. So I do get to recover 3 dice. So I get a combat die back, and then 2 of these go away. He does have the Bane, so he does take 1 real damage because he's out of bonus health. And I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, get away from that other guy, and we're just going to kill that thing. And I'm just going to roll these 2 dice and a combat die. So I gain a tenacity. I'm up to 2. This is more than enough to kill it, and so was that. So we killed this archer, which, by the way, I forgot to take this archer's turn. He would have targeted 2 targets with the lowest health and rolled 2 dice. So he would have targeted these 2 because they were the only targets he had. And he does 2 damage. So she's in worse shape because she took 2 more. And this guy would have taken nothing because he has 2 armor. All right, so now we killed that thing. And she has lost 3 health so far. All right, now we got the Nord way over here. Can move 3 spaces, but he's too far away to do anything. So I will move 1, 2, 3 to at least get closer. He recovers 2 dice, so he gets 1. And then this one just goes to the end. Okay, his turn's over. Mage has got to get out of that situation. She's down to 2 health. I'm checking her skills to see if she can heal herself. She can spend 2 tenacity. She has 0. That's not going to do her any good. So, yeah, she's got to get out of there. She does recover 2 dice. And we're going to move her 1, 2, 3 away. Get her as far away from everybody as possible. He's in range. She's going to target him. And she's going to roll 2 dice. Because that's all she's got. She's got this hand one, which that one is choose a level 1 or 5 enemy, deal true damage. Oh man, I gotta quit rolling that die. That's not a die that can help in this situation. That's the only one I can roll. And that looks like that's the blind one. Deal 2 true damage to your target. then apply a blind status die to it. After this is engaged, blind yourself as well. So he's blinded, but so are we. So I put that at the end. And yeah, so she's gonna stay alive just because she's really far away from everybody. And okay, what does blind do exactly? All units to be opposing units. So if this unit engages, it can only target the strongest adjacent unit. All right, barking is over. Whose turn was this? I think we just went with the mage. Now it's the archer's turn. So 3 dice get recovered. And here we are. So yeah, the only person left for us to kill is him. And then we got to let that creature thingy kill the watcher, which I see that my two-hander is going to get sucked in and take some extra damage. And that's unfortunate. But let's do the archer at least. So yeah, I get to roll 3 dice. I'm going to go ahead and just roll the same 3 I just refreshed. We're going to attack him, and then I have the ability to do 2 damage to anybody in sight. However, he has 2 armor, so it does nothing to him. And then here we got 2 tenacity. So now we're up to 4. And then that is a 2 damage, and it reduces his armor by 1, so it just does 1 damage to him. So he takes 1. I have some combat dice that I could roll, but if they do 1 damage each, it still doesn't do anything. I'm going to look. I mean, I am at 4 tenacity. I do have venom arrows, but I need 5 for that one. It says lethal arrow. For 3 tenacity, roll 2 enemy combat dice against a targetable enemy and do true damage to it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 3 tenacity. I'm down to 1. And we're going to roll 2 dice against him. And I just did 3 true damage to him. That's excellent. So he goes down like that. All right, so then he can damage the watcher. Well, okay, so we get to go first. So I'm going to have him go first. He can only move 1 space, and he can only attack 1 space away with a range of 1 because of this. This is a wonderful die. I love that skill. So he has... oh, hold on a second. I'm hosting board game night and people were asking me questions. So anyways, he can move. So he wants to hit whoever has the lowest health, which is this one. So we're gonna move him 1 towards the watcher. So now the watcher goes. He has a range of 2 and he's gonna hit 2 people, and unfortunately I'm in range. And anybody within range 3 gets sucked towards him. So this is 1 and that's 1. So my two-hander is going to take some damage, which I didn't plan that very well. But first of all, he's going to roll his 2 dice. And we got a blank. We only did 1 damage. So he has a shield of 2. He blocks. And he has, of course, takes 1 damage. And then he's going to take 1 more because of the necrotic stuff. And then he takes 1 because of the necrotic. And then this dude in the back here, rolling 4 dice, and does 1, 2, 3 true damage. So this watcher has 1 health left. All right, I haven't been keeping track of the rounds. Let's see, that was 1, 2, that was at least round 3. This is round 4. And again, we start with this guy. He refreshes 3 dice, but he does do a Bane, so he takes 1 damage. He's down to 3 health, but this goes away. That's 2, and then this is 3. So that recovers. I'm not going to attack with him. We're just going to run. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 away and get as far away from the Watcher. Actually, I'm going to be 3 away from the Watcher, but the Watcher won't hurt me. Well, he'll suck me in, won't he? I don't think there's a way I can get away from the Watcher. That's all I can do, is just get there. Then with the Nord, I can try to kill this thing. Well, the Nord recovers 2 dice, so we do that. And then we're going to attack with combat dice. And then the Nord's going to use his ability, because he has 4 weapons equipped. So he's going to be able to do this plus 4 weapons. So we're going to be able to roll all those dice to just hit him for 1 damage. And that's more than enough to cover his 2 armor and do even more. I probably shouldn't have rolled so many combat dice, but it is what it is. So we killed this Ovivius guy. And get that out of the way, and I guess I'll just save him here for now. Then we got to get out of dodge. So I'm going to try to move as far away as I can. She's going to recover 2 dice. And she's going to do nothing. And then the archer is going to recover 3 dice. And also do nothing. We can't harm that guy at all. And the unfortunate part is the 2-hander might end up dying here, because this guy's going to roll 2 dice. So he's going to move forward up to 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1, 2, and he's going to target both of them. And that's just how he's going to roll here. And he's going to do 2. And then he does this necrotic thing, right? So he's going to suck 1 in and 1 in and 1 in like that. So these 2 are both going to, at minimum, take 1 damage. And then he does 2 more. So this guy is KO'd, unfortunately. And then the archer has plenty of health, so he's fine. Then this guy moves up, and he's going to roll 4 dice. Does 3 damage. I forgot to account for the fact that he has 1 shield. Or no, it's true damage. Never mind. It ignores the shield. So the Watcher's died. And then as soon as the Watcher dies, this guy dies. And so we survive. One of our guys got KO'd. And it was just because the Watcher kept sucking him in and, you know, all that jazz. So there you have it. We survived the mission. We now go to E12. Which is going to tell us that we beat session 1. So we have our text here. Ovidius has disappeared into the chaos and the gauntlet is destroyed. The bag of gold remains, however, so you stumble back to the outlaw's refuge, dazed but richer. Sometimes when you do a job, you don't learn anything other than not to do it again. The whole messy affair has likely burned Ovidius's connection with the Mages Guild, and you suspect that if he survived, he and the mistress of these cultists probably made nice. You know well enough from your career as a thief that partners in crime often fall out and then come back together as soon as they realize their erstwhile rival has something to offer. If anything, Ovidius's brush with death could have increased his loyalty. If he couldn't topple his rival, then he'll likely serve as her most fervent lieutenant, at least until the next opportunity for betrayal comes along. So in session 1, we choose one of these, right? If we decide to track down Ovivius, we have to go to High Rock Outer Watch quest for session 2. If we want to try not to do the same job twice, the Elsevier is a expansion that's not released, so we can't do that. And if his mischief inspires us to bust some magic wielding heads, we can go to Cyrodiil, Fighters Guild. So obviously if we do the Outer Watch one, we're staying with all this this map. And we're going to do this map one more time. And then the third one is also going to be on this map. So we're going to basically do the entire campaign on this map. Or I can do the Cyrodiil one just because I want to switch maps. I don't know. I mean, the unrest on this thing is always high. It seems to be a thing. I'm okay with staying on this map. So we're gonna track down Ovidius. Let's try to see this quest to the end, right? Whoever this Ovidius guy is, let's figure out what he's all about. So we're gonna do the High Rock Outer Watch quest for season 2, or session 2. So that means we take this Thieves Guild and we replace it with the Outer Watch. And if I can find it, here it is. So that's the Outer Watch, and it's a newer guild. First founded to provide aid to those in need and lift up the downtrodden. Community outreach. For your guild kiosk town action, you can discard a food or a hand item to gain 3 tenacity. Finally, I got something I can do with that food garbage. Now, it could be argued, because remember I was telling you, oh gosh, I'm taking damage. That is actually where some of these foods might have helped, right? Because I could have healed with the food. Like, some of the food really does heal your characters. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I guess that's why I would rather just have a healer in my party, which I don't have, by the way. And ironically enough, we had, I think, 2 guys KO'd when we had the summoner and the cleric. Without the summoner and cleric, we're down to 1 being KO'd. But even that, I think, was avoidable if I would have just played a little smarter. But nonetheless, day 12 comes to an end. We did get... so we gained the keyword destroy equipment. So so there's a keyword. I'm just writing it off camera here. Destroy equipment. All right, so we gained that. Also, I think before we went to E12, we should have gotten experience points. So let me go back. It was page 32. Nope, 0 experience. What kind of bullcrap is this? Okay. Okay, so I did get into the rule book here, and I found a really interesting rule I didn't even realize existed. There's this thing called the Guild Assist. The Guild Assist basically says that once per campaign, you get to heal everything, get rid of all your dice, draw a legendary and a regular item, gaining both, and you can set the round counter to anything you want, and the party may immediately move its party token up to 6 hexes on the overland map if it's the end of day. After the ability is resolved, you add the keyword Guild Assist to your campaign's journal. And then, you know how we got the keyword destroy equipment, right? If we would have taken this Guild Assist, then we're not allowed to take the destroy equipment keyword. Like, we have to ignore that. I didn't even know that this was a thing, but this is basically like a super mega, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. This is like the ultimate, reset. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes, kind of thing. I mean, you're going to basically lose your campaign because you're not winning, so you might as well take the Guild Assist to survive. I mean, that's pretty cool that they added it to the game. I didn't realize it was a thing. It's buried in the middle of the rule book, for Pete's sakes. It does say that when you complete a session, there are some things that trigger. First of all, our experience points, we don't gain any unless it tells us we do, and of course it doesn't, which blows. But we keep that we're at 13. So we're still at 13. And then we're supposed to discard any beast items, the ones that have the paws, if they had chips on them. Otherwise, we get to keep them. And then any item, like this one here, we're losing all the magical items. And then everybody's going to fully heal. So we lose another item there. So you could have argued that, you know, I should have been using some of these items to help me not die so much. But, so, for example, our mage has 6 health. So I got all of her health back. And so she is ready to rock and roll. The archer didn't lose any health, but all of his bonus health, which was a lot. Look at how much he had. He loses all of that. So all the bonus health goes away as well. And then, like I said, anything that has a glyph on it is gone. The archer is fine. I'm just checking everybody's inventory. Then we get to this guy who is KO'd, so he goes back to 7 health. Oh, we're 1 short. So there you go. He's at 7. Let's make sure. Oh, he had a glyph item. And yeah, I mean, maybe I'm making mistakes here because this could have maybe helped us some way. I mean, you're going to lose it anyway, so why not use them? Yep, and then he had a glyph item as well. The glyph of hardening, which would have enchanted an armor. This would have let you use an overtax without losing the item. So all these items are gone. Fine by me. As far as I'm concerned, they were crap items anyways. So all dice refresh. Basically, you're playing this like you're starting a new game. And it's just that you're starting a new game with skills and abilities versus, you know, only having the basic 2. So everything refreshes on all your characters. You, like I said, the only thing that sucks is we didn't get the bonus experience point. And then we would start session 2. And since it's on the same map, it's going to feel very much like we could have started session 2 as session 1. Like, this is a session 1 quest. It's just, you know, we would have chosen this one instead of the Thieves Guild, right? But that's the session 2. Is we'll go do that, and you know, we're going to get 12 more days again to try to get some experience points, and we're a little smarter, a little wiser, a little tougher. Some of the enemies we're going to be up against are going to be a little tougher as well. But, yeah, I think this is going fine. That last battle was a little tricky. And that's what you want. You don't want the game to be a pushover. And we made it work. I'm still a little frustrated that sometimes we keep running into these rule challenges. And I don't like how some of the rules are just in the middle of the rule book and not in a player aid. But then again, I just got to get down, pull up an Excel document and type stuff in myself. And maybe that'll help. Because, like, you know, I really like this game called The Convicted. And I made player aids for that. And that made the game so much more fun to play. I made 2 player aids for it. And without those 2 player aids, that game would be very frustrating. So, you know, this is no different. I think just somebody's got to take the time. Some people seem to have tried to take a time, but the stuff they wrote in is garbage. Oh, excuse me, I was yawning. This is one of those things. This is on Board Game Geek, and this is utter garbage. This here is a repeat of what's already in the player aid. So, useless, useless, useless. And then Exploring in the Delves. Okay, that one's actually helpful. This is pretty helpful. Pages for complex rules. Maybe helpful. Like, there's the guild assist, right? The thing I was telling you about. End session enemy pool. There you go. Like, that's helpful, right? Because that's the thing that's buried in the middle of the... if you're defeated... I don't know. Everything else is meh. The other reminders, I guess they're helpful. They weren't that helpful to me. And then combat reminders. Enemy pool. Deployed enemies are furthest away first. No, they're not. They're placed in the 1, and then the 2, and then the 3, wherever it's indicated. That might be true on maybe in a delve. Enemy defense blocks each instance of, same or adjacent tile site. Nope, that's not true. Sight is anywhere you can see. You can move twice if you don't engage. Units can move. White chip units are immune to status dice. Now that I didn't remember. And we played it wrong then, because we put status, although our Arcana wasn't the status die. So our Arcana thing, the only thing that would affect him was blind, and we didn't really do the blind on him. Remove health from bottom of stack first. That is a pointless, stupid, not even remotely useful thing. At the start of a round, +1 over fatigue for all adventures, then true damage equal to over fatigue and cooldown. Okay, that's the part I didn't remember. This true damage. Can retreat at end of round. Failing a quest encounter loses the game. Yeah. So it's mildly helpful. All right, but am I having fun is the question. Yes. Do I have my complaints? Of course, and you've heard them all. I'm actually going to play this multiplayer starting March 4th. I'm really looking forward to it. I have 3 guys right now out of 4. I'm going to talk them into doing a 4-character playthrough, and we'll just all control the 4th guy, unless we can get a 4th person to join us. I'm very excited, because I think this is actually a fun game to play multiplayer. I'm enjoying it solo, don't get me wrong, because then I'm in total control over what everybody does. I might even do better because of that. But I actually like the idea of other people helping. It helps with the rules, right? Because somebody's going to remember, hey, you looked up this rule one time and it said this. And, you know, because a couple hours later, I'm getting tired and I may not remember. Anyways, I think all games are more fun with multiple people. And I'm in multiple solo board gaming groups. I do these videos that are always solo. So don't get me wrong, I play solo all the time. I just enjoy it with people. Board games to me are a people thing to do. When I play my video games like Civilization 7, that I enjoy doing by myself. And in fact, if one of you said, hey, let's play online together, I'm going to be like, no. And a large part of it because those games take 20 hours to play, and I don't want to spend 20 hours online with somebody. But even this takes 20 hours to play, but we'll do it in 2-hour chunks once a week for, 7 weeks or whatever. And so it just makes it different. Board games, a lot of fun. I love the feel of the components. I get it. But when I'm doing these videos, I actually like the electronic stuff better. Just feels less clunky for me. And I don't have this to deal with either. But anyways, enough of that. My intention is to continue. Like last time I only did session 1 and then I quit. My intention this time is to keep going. I do have the March 4th constraint, but it is a Tuesday, February 25th right now. So I still got some time. A week, in fact. So I think I can get a lot done in a week. I finished this in 2 days, this session. 3 days. So I don't know how many more days, if I take 3 more days to get through session 2, and then session 3 looks like it's just a big dungeon. Like it's just a final act thing. Like it doesn't look like it's not the same formula. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for coming. As always, stay awesome.